Roll call, please, Ms. King. Here.
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 Board, it's time for the agenda review and approval. Can we have a motion and a second to approve the agenda?
So move.
Second.
We have a motion by Ms. Lessman and a second by Mr. Overcash. Any discussion, board? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? The agenda is approved. We're moving on to our presentations. Dr. Nichols, do we have presentations?
Yes, sir, Mr. President. I will ask Ms. Jenny Greer to come forward from the Schools Foundation.
Thank you so much for having me tonight. Tonight I'm bringing a check for Madison City Schools that is a part of the Raise Your Hand initiative along with the Committee of 100. Little history there. They began this initiative back in 2018 with the original goal of $200,000 to help support national board certification. Then they upped their goal to $1 million over time, and to date we're at $954,000 that has gone toward that is going toward all of our teachers who are pursuing national board certification in Madison City Schools, Madison County Schools, and Huntsville City. Right now in our county, we have 254 national board certified teachers and 178 in the process. And Madison City is really stepping it up because this is the biggest check I think I've taken to anyone for national board certification teachers that are going through the process. And so tonight, we're presenting a check for $47,650 for your teachers.
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I tell you what, let's all y'all come around here. We'll get everybody in this picture, go around that way, and we'll get a picture. All right. Thank you, Jenny, so much. Thank you so much. Just do it again. Don't go far.
Board, I know Ms. Greer ran and sat down, but did anybody have any questions about the check that she was presenting to the system?
Well, let me just say, Mr. President, thank you to Jenny. Jenny, for folks that don't know, a longtime educator, retired, and now is leading the Schools Foundation. And the Schools Foundation has always been supportive of our teachers in the National Board. And we're certainly proud of the work that they've done, both through the Committee of 100 and the Schools Foundation, to raise that awareness and to help us to provide resources and mentoring for our teachers. I think Dr. Donaldson is not here, but I think we have 106 National Board certified teachers. So when she says there's 254 in the entire county, we'll take 106 of them. So we're a little competitive about having those. So I know that I think Jefferson County may have the most, but if you take per capita, I think we're ahead. But it wouldn't happen if we didn't have the partnerships in the School Foundation. So I just want to say thank you. Ms. Shaw, you are still up.
All right. Good evening, Dr. Nichols and members of the board. It is my pleasure to introduce you to Lori Light and her team with Leidos. This is our second year partnering with Leidos on a grant to support our STEM education throughout our whole entire district. So we had a wonderful partnership that we established last year, and I'd love for you to come and introduce your team and tell a little bit about the program.
Good evening. I'm going to pass the microphone over to Lisa Devine, and we also have Jason Gillespie with us. So Lisa's going to make the presentation.
So I'm Lisa Devine. I'm the VP for Business Operations at Leidos here in Huntsville, and I'm joined by our CTO, Jason Gillespie. We find that engagement in STEM programs for kids at the grade school and high school level is essential for the development of our workforce. So we try to invest in the local schools so we can fill our pipeline with future engineers and scientists to do the critical work of our northern Alabama companies in region. So we have a $5,000 check that we're presenting to Madison City Schools in support of their STEM programs for this year.
Thank you so much. Want us to stand? Tell you what, we'll stand back here. How about that? There we go. Good. Good. That way we got it. We're kind of balanced. Mr. Terrell will be happy about that. Right. Shut up. Okay. Now look at the text.
Yes. All right.
Good. All right.
Thank y'all so much. Yes, I got it.
Thank you.
Dr. Nichols, do we have any other presentations?
No, sir, Mr. President.
Perfect. We are moving on to our public comment section of our meeting. Ms. King, have we had anyone sign up for our public comment section? Yes. 3. Okay, perfect. Hold on one second. Okay. Just a reminder, our public comment sections are for 3 minutes. However, the board reserves the right to shorten or speak any time to accommodate the number of speakers requesting to address the board. Please do not refer to anyone by specific names to protect their good character and nature. Who's first? Ms. King? Ms. Maggie Mintz? Hey.
Good evening. Good evening, members of the board. I'm Maggie Minsk, and I have 3 teenagers at James Clemens in just a few weeks. I'm here to speak about the recently passed big bill, and you can fill in with your own adjective, I guess, and how it may affect our schools, and what we can do now to safeguard Madison's educational future and the future of our children. So the first thing I'd like to do is to formally request that the board consider hosting a public forum or a town hall, some sort of event to allow for open dialogue between the board and the families and students and teachers and things like that. I think that it might be really helpful. I understand that regular meetings provide an opportunity for public comment, and that's much appreciated, but it is one directional, and we don't get much feedback except for you guys looking at us. So I think if you can plan that, that would be a space for a mutual conversation, I think would be appreciated by a lot of people who are feeling confused and concerned. So the big bill is a sweeping federal tax and spending package that extends major tax breaks across income levels, bolsters military and ICE spending, and offsets costs with deep cuts to Medicaid, food stamps, clean energy, and public education, which is the part that concerns us. So this includes a new private school voucher system that's funded by tax deductions, threatening public school funding nationwide. So we can see in other states that have already rolled out voucher programs to the extent to which it works and or doesn't work, and the impact that it may or may not have on this district. Just in addition, states are going to be struggling to pay for all kinds of things and subsidize even more that the bill took away. Vouchers, for example, make it easier for wealthier families to withdraw from the school district because they have vouchers that they can use to go outside of public school. And it, like a coupon for a product that you can't afford, vouchers are not useful for a lot of people who can't afford the product with or without the coupon. So this is going to lead to a lot of funding losses, a shrinking tax base, and make it harder to retain educators and to pay for the things that our schools need, like paying for continuing education for educators who want to become nationally certified, et cetera. And as a one-time national educator, I understand that these kinds of things can add up, especially on a teacher's salary. So anyway, I have some ideas. Perhaps you do too. I really hope that you guys will take me up on the offer and the formal request to have a town hall so we can talk about it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mintz. I can assure you that this board is concerned about federal and state regulations that impact the school system. All right, Ms. King, anyone next?
Hello, everyone. My name is Robin Pope, and I just graduated from Bob Jones High School last year. And I just wanted to talk to you about my transition into college and how the health science internship helped me greatly. So first, I wanted to talk about deciding about your major. I'm a nursing major at the University of Alabama, and I just completed my freshman year there. And you don't actually start nursing school until junior year. So I really wanted to make sure that nursing was for me before I went to college so that I didn't waste, classes, time, and money at university. So I did the health science internship at Bob Jones, and we went to the hospital twice a week. I got to shadow nurses and veterinary clinics, and we went to 3 different hospitals. It was great, and it really solidified that nursing was for me, and that's what I wanted to do. I really enjoyed seeing what nurses did on the day-to-day and seeing if that matched with my goals in the future. And I loved the fact that in my classroom that I learned in at Bob Jones, there was a bunch of hospital equipment. There was hospital beds. There was mannequins that could trace you with their eyes and you can take their blood pressure. There was arms with needles, and it really helped with the kinesthetic learning because not only did I hear my teacher talk about those things, we actually got to demonstrate and use those items that were provided for us, and it helped when we were taking our certification quiz. I could visualize myself doing it, and it was really engraved in my brain. And also, I got my patient care tech certification, my EKG tech, and my CCMA certification all through the program, which is great because I go to such a big university. I need to distinguish myself amongst my peers, and good grades aren't enough at Alabama. So I was really appreciative for that opportunity as well. I also got CPR certified twice in the program. But I think it's also great how at the base level of all of those programs, you have an intro class, so you could dip your toe into different career paths and see if you like it or not. And it's not a big commitment. You only have 1 class spent on that. And also, I think it made my college classes way easier because I already knew how to study about those topics. I had already been learning those materials for 4 years, and so I feel like it helped with my success at college, and I already knew how to study and prepare myself for college. So thank you for that opportunity.
Thank you, Ms. Pope.
Okay, make sure before you leave that Lee Shaw gets your phone number.
Okay.
I think if you're going to be in town, I think I found my speaker for the back to school breakfast. I think signing you up to give that pitch for career programs would be great. And we will certainly, first of all, make sure that your instructors know how appreciative you are. But I'm very appreciative. She's not here tonight, but if Dr. Donaldson was here, she would be glowing right now as she coordinates career tech programs, glowing to know that it was beneficial for that. So thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. My best friend she did the teaching academy as well, so I could ask her about speaking for that if you wanted her to touch on that. And Lee Shaw is my neighbor, so
Nice.
yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Pope. I will say that's something that, we see successes in the system and see our students, but to have recent graduates come back and speak, and I know Ms. Lambert, at graduation, she would ask the students, were you prepared? And this is just one of those times when a student come back and say some of the successes that they have. I know Dr. Donaldson at JC is say fear, and it's, what is it? It is face everything and rise. And those statements are coming from our leadership to encourage our students to take the tools that they learned at the high school level and go out and do great things. So, Ms. Pope, thank you very much for coming back and spreading that information. I know Ms. Shaw talked about having an alumni for high school students a while back. I'm not sure if you're still working on that, but I know there was some discussion about that. Ms. King, do we have any other speakers?
Good evening. My name is Rebecca Benjamin, and I am a concerned parent and community member in Madison. My son James is a rising third grader at Mill Creek Elementary School. I'm glad to hear you say, Mr. Board President, that the board is concerned about potential changes due to federal funding. I would like to speak to you tonight about my concerns regarding the potential loss or reduction of federal funding for English Language Learner or ELL programs, which is a critical issue for Madison City Schools. As you know, our district is incredibly diverse, and we have students from dozens of countries, and this diversity, I believe, is a strength, and it also means that we have a significant number of English language learners who rely on specialized support from the schools. Our district's own information highlights that we identify and support these students with highly qualified EL teachers. The federal government's recent indications of withholding billions in educational grants, including Title III funds, directly impact our ability to fund the personnel vital to these programs. Reports point toward Alabama schools seeing approximately $68 million in federal K-12 funding caught up in this freeze, with a significant portion tied to staff salaries. Losing this funding means that we risk not being able to hire and retain the ESL and EL teachers and aides that our students need. It impacts our ability to provide specialized instructional materials and professional development for all of our staff. The consequences are clear. Our ELL students, many of whom arrive mid-year, I know my son has new classmates come all throughout the year, and several are from other countries, those students risk falling behind academically. And this not only affects their individual success, but it could also impact our district's future overall success and performance. If families perceive a decline in our ELL services, it could also discourage future enrollment from diverse populations, undermining our community's growth. So I would like to urge the board to, one, prioritize local and state funds to fill any federal gaps that may arise because of this. Two, advocate strongly at state and federal levels for the release of these critical funds. And three, to explore alternative funding sources to maintain these ELL services. The success of our English language learners is paramount to the success of Madison City Schools, and we can't afford to leave these students behind. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Benjamin. Ms. King, do we have anyone else? Okay. Dr. Nichols, we're going to move on to action items.
Yes, sir, Mr. President. First will be business action items, and I recommend for your approval the consent agenda. It contains items A, the minutes 25-15 of June 26th of 2025, B, field trip requests for Madison City Schools, C, facility use agreements for Madison City Schools, D, policies 5.913, paid parental leave, and 5.9.3, authorized leave. This is their second reading. E, disposal of 32 cafeteria tables currently located at Madison. They are old and no longer suitable to use. F, a mini cheer camp hosted by the Bob Jones cheerleaders on August the 9th. And G, a bid of 2025-06 for a supplemental elementary math program, the Math Learning Center. And then H, an update to the Madison City Schools salary schedule for extracurricular as well as bus driver subs and other areas.
Okay. Board, Dr. Nichols has recommended the approval of consent agenda items A through H. Can we take this as a group? Seeing that a group is fine, can we have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda items A through H?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Newberry and a second by Ms. Lessman. Any discussion, board? Dr. Nichols, is there anything that you need to touch on?
No,
on
sir.
anything? Okay. Then no further discussion. Can we have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda items A through H? We have a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? The motion passes. Dr. Nichols?
Mr. President, members of the board, I'll ask Ms. Williams to come forward at this time and present the 2025 May financial and bank reconciliation statements.
Good evening, Dr. Nichols and board. I'm going to present the May 2025 financials. And so for the month of May, we should be at around 67%. Our revenues are at 70% and our expenditures are at 54%. Currently, our operating days are at 35 days.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. Mr. President, members of the board, I recommend for approval the May 2025 financial and bank reconciliation statements as presented by Ms. Williams.
Thank you, Dr. Nichols. Thank you, Ms. Williams. Board, Dr. Nichols has recommended the approval of the May 2025 bank financial and bank reconciliation statements. Can we have a motion and a second to approve?
So move.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Overcash and a second by Ms. Welsh. Any discussion, board? Just to remind the public, they had a financial meeting at the beginning of this meeting. All right. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Motion passes.
Thank you.
We are moving on to personnel action items, Dr. Nichols.
Yes, sir. Mr. President, members of the board, I recommend for approval the personnel agenda containing substitutes, contracts, teams contracts, and other actions in the personnel agenda.
Board, Dr. Nichols has recommended the approval of the employment contract between the City of Madison Board of Education, Mr. Ryan Foy, as unassigned teacher athletics administration and athletics director at JC for the 2025 and 2026 school year. We also have the July 10th, 2025 through June 30th, 2026 as described in the terms of this contracts. The Students First Act from 2011, and a list of substitute teachers, and a list of supplemental contracts and teams contracts, and other personnel items as listed. Is it the board's pleasure to treat these as a group? Seeing that a group is fine, can we have a motion and a second to approve?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Ms. Welsh and a second by Mr. Newberry. Any discussion, board? Ready for a vote? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? The motion passes. Dr. Nichols, did you want to bring any attention to the personnel action items?
Yes, sir, Mr. President. I would like to introduce the action of the board that has now named Mr. Ryan Foy to be the athletic director at James Clemens High School. Mr. Foy, congratulations. We're glad you're here with us tonight. Come on up. We don't let you out that easy. It must be a special occasion. I mean, the whole group's here, and even Mr. Brown's coming. I mean, and I looked at this resume, Mr. President, and Mr. Foy started in Montgomery, and then he came up here to Madison County, but then he came to Madison, and he's been at Bob Jones. We hadn't sent you to Bob Jones. Is that right?
That's right. I was already told to go to JC.
we had you at Liberty. We had you at Discovery.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
Mr. Terrell's claim to fame is that he has been, other than Journey that wasn't here, every school.
That's right.
So we thought you were close. But,
I was close.
You almost got it completely covered.
I've been confused as being him a couple of times since I got here. I've been hitting the head a couple of times.
Yeah, I'm not going down that road. I'm going to leave that one alone. But I have seen younger pictures of you both, and you do kind of favor me. Maybe a bit. I don't know. But Mr. Foy has done a tremendous job coordinating the assistant principal role and also coordinating the athletics at Liberty. And so we know that the JC staff, who is all here, Dr. D, and everybody's here tonight to celebrate, is looking forward to having you lead their athletic program. And we know that you're going to do a fantastic job. And so I think you might have someone with you tonight you want to introduce, and anything you'd like to say.
Yeah, well, first of all, I want to introduce my wife, Brianna, in the back. She deals with my OCD when it comes to athletics. So we kind of cut from the same cloth, but definitely want to thank the board, Dr. Nichols, Mr. Terrell. Also want to thank Mr. Brown. He's been tremendous. We have still do. We have a great culture at Liberty Middle School. The environment from the cafeteria to the front office is great, but I would not be where I am if it had not been for Shannon Brown. And I'm still going to be in the building. I've already made that very clear that JC cannot stand because Liberty is the foundation. And so, like I said before, I'm excited. I'm ready to get started. It's a lot of stuff to do. And again, I'm very OCD when it comes to athletics, but I look forward to the challenge. So again, thank you again to the board, Dr. Nichols, Mr. Terrell, for the opportunity.
We're looking forward to it. And we know that the Jets will fly high on athletics under your leadership. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Board, is there any comments, any statements? I think there's some people with you that may want to say some few words about some of the things that you've done, Mr. Foy. Come on up.
So I appreciate you giving me the opportunity. My name is Clay Coleman, pretty much a volunteer for JC and Liberty. I asked Mr. Cummins if I could speak. I will have the perspective. I know all the people, Mr. Brown, everybody work with, but I'm a dad that has kids. I'm a dad that had kids that Timothy just graduated, went from Mill Creek, Liberty, now JC, and I got another one there. And I will say I've never been in here to speak to you guys before, good or bad. But I felt like this was one that I had to come in and be here to represent for someone who has become a friend. We've never went out to eat. We've never hung out outside of it. But I can probably say if I were to call, he'd probably be in my top 5 of people I would call. My sons both go to him, hug him, do that. So just wanted to say as far as a decision, I can't speak for the other side, but I can speak for the County Line Roadside and all the way from Mill Creek to Liberty. Like Mr. Brown always says, he takes care of your babies. They do. But to have him at James Clemens and how he's interacted with my boys, there's a lot of people that he's going to carry that contagious spirit of just being a good human. And I'm just glad to call him a friend. I'm glad you guys made the right decision to bring him. So love you, man.
Thank you, Mr. Coleman.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Like I said, one more thing, Dr. Nichols.
Yes, sir.
Also
you
want
get
to thank,
go-backs around here.
What's that?
You get go-backs around here.
Right. I want to thank Dr. Donaldson and his staff as well for allowing me the opportunity to come back. So again, like I said, I used to be at JC, but things have changed. But the more things change, the more they remain the same. So thank you, Dr. Donaldson. Right.
Yes,
thank
sir.
you.
Thank
Congratulations.
And there will be pictures afterwards, so don't run off.
Okay, we are done with personnel action items. We are moving on to superintendent comments. Dr. Nichols?
Mr. President, members of the board, first of all, there's a lot going on as we've left the 4th holiday and moved in. It's kind of like a roller coaster when I say about school. All June, you're climbing, and then after July the 4th, you go over the edge, and it's just fast as it can be. And our folks have been doing a tremendous job. First, I want to thank Dr. Ja and her team and finance, all the new employees that we've had and the work that goes into getting all that paperwork and getting everybody ready. But also that starts at the school level, tremendous amount of interviewing that's gone on even before the end of last school year. Certainly appreciate the work that our principals, assistant principals, and staff have put in. And so, we look forward to getting ready. It'll be less than a month now, getting ready to start the new school year. Thank you to the folks that came tonight. I will just say one thing we're not real sure yet about the federal funds that have been mentioned in the paper. Dr. Mackey sent something out. They're not sure there'll even be a cut. And so they're still in that conversation. But I will thank, I think Ms. Benjamin mentioned EL. We got an additional $400,000+ from the state this year for EL. So the state, the state of Alabama through the years has basically funded every student in the state of Alabama as though they were just the same. But they had some, have language, EL, some maybe have special ed needs. But in the state of Alabama, there was no differentiation. This year, for the first time, the legislature has done that, and they have come back and given some additional funds for those students of poverty and those students of EL and those students of special education and gifted students. Now, don't get carried away and think it's this huge pot of money that the Brinks truck is rolling up. Oh, no. But they did finally do that. And so, I've been a little harsh on the legislature at times, but I'll be positive that they did look at that and hear folks say the challenges and the additional funds that we need. It won't get back to equal, but we hope that over the next few years they will continue to look at that and continue to grow the funding that goes to the student. And there are states that do that. I think there was a desire to maybe redo the entire foundation program this year. I'm not sure most superintendents wanted to do that, because when they couldn't quite assure that what we used to get, we wouldn't get cut to get something else. And so this felt like a good compromise as it went toward funding. And so I certainly appreciate that, and we will keep folks up to date. Again, we're not sure yet. Dr. Mackey is actually in Washington as we speak. He and a delegation from school superintendents of Alabama, our president, and our past president, as well as our national superintendent of the year, who's from Jefferson County. And so they have been in Washington the last few days, meeting with our delegation, meeting with folks to talk about that under the auspices of the American Association of School Superintendents. So we'll have more information, I hope, in the next week or so. I know that Ms. Williams, she serves on the board of ASBO, which is the state school business officials, and they have meetings that are getting ready to happen. So we'll keep folks up to date as we see that. While there may be some loss of funds, ours might not be the same as others, because a lot of that is based upon your free and reduced lunch levels, and ours are not where other people's are. And so they will get a bigger loss maybe than we would, but it's still funds that we use. The other thing that I would say is we're going to put out some information first of next week about our new wireless communication policy. I know there's been a lot of questions about, some people call it the cell phone policy, but the legislature and the governor passed a pretty strict, stringent cell phone policy. And so you as a board, through the policy committee, put together that policy, and our administrators are working now with Mr. Terrell to look at how that will be carried out in the school. And so, it is going to be a big change for folks, and we'll have a little learning curve as we get into the school year, but the measure of the law is that the governor and the legislature, pretty much bipartisan across the state, do not want engagement with cell phones during the school day. Now, there are health issues that we will address through our 504s and other things. There are EL. Some of our students use that for translation. All those fall within the parameters, and we'll work through those. But by and large, those are to be turned off and not engaged with unless under the direction of a school official. And I think, as we've talked about it, it's pretty straightforward when you read that law, to the point that the State Department of Education needs to develop a survey to give all certified staff at the end of the school year to make sure the law is being followed. I don't know of another law that's ever been passed in the state of Alabama that they've asked people to take a survey on. That's maybe a first. I don't know. And I won't get into my thoughts of overreaching, but they did. But I'll go on with that. But, we do know that the deficit and challenges of screen time, but we also know how we use technology, and we will continue to do our one-to-one and our computers, and we'll still utilize those in an instruction manner, but we will also make sure that we have good policies and guidelines in place. So I know there's a lot of discussion about that. At least there seems to be on the TV station. I seem to see lots of stories. Otherwise, we've had a great month of June. Now, again, I want to thank our folks that did our camps. We had summer school, we had EL camp, we had ESY. We've had all kinds of opportunities for students and to get extra enrichment opportunities. July is kind of the time when we kind of get ready. So there's a lot of building cleaning going on. I want to thank our custodian and our maintenance staff that are getting buildings. I was in a building yesterday. We're putting some flooring down, but the waxing was going on. And you know it's getting close to school when you go down a hallway, all the furniture's out and the wax is out and everybody's working. You know school is just around the corner. And so our transportation staff, I know Dr. Scrimpsure had folks getting trained, new drivers. So it's just a lot of busy activities that are happening around the district that go unseen. And I just want to make sure that all of our folks out there know how much we appreciate them for what they're doing to get ready for that first day when the kids come. And we will be ready. Now, we've got some maintenance projects that we may be down to the wire. I'm not sure we'll even make the wire in a case or two. We may have to move around a little bit to get adjusted. But that's the case. You know, you have to do maintenance work, and sometimes it's extensive. It's a HVAC system, or it's a new roof. And used to, you don't have 3 months to get it done, and the weather plays a factor. So I certainly appreciate Mr. Gunner and Mr. Jones, Mr. Gass, and all of the folks that do that and try to keep that. Mr. Terrell does a lot of that. He's out there hopping around and going to meetings. And at the same time, if there wasn't anything left, we have a new school being built. So we have to keep up with that. And it's on track, and things are looking good for it. So it's a very busy time. Certainly appreciate our folks that are putting in all the labor to get ready for that first day.
Thank you, Dr. Nichols. We're moving on to board comments. Ms. Welsh?
Yes, just wanted to say I'm looking forward to traveling down to Montgomery come Friday. I actually leave tomorrow, but looking forward to the AASB conference and orientation. I did want to also just deliver praise in general. The Parent Square app launched this week, and as a working parent, I immediately started getting the messages, download this, try it, and I have been pleasantly surprised. I really like the dashboard. It's been very user-friendly. I really like how I can toggle amongst my children. I don't have to figure it. It's very easy to use is my point, and I'm just very excited to see what comes with it.
Nice.
That's all.
Mr. Overcash?
Not too much. Want to thank the HR and finance team for giving us update on the salary changes and the financial status, and welcome the new AD to JC. Welcome to your new position. And that's all I have, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Newberry?
Congratulations, Mr. Foy. It sounds like you're going to do great. Looking forward to great things. I missed the last meeting, and I didn't get a chance to thank the policy committee. But I did want to thank the policy committee. We met a few weeks ago to get a bunch of these new policies that we have to get through now through. So I really appreciate everybody spending their time on that. I did want to say that part of our role is to advocate to our local delegation in Montgomery and in DC. And I think I speak for the board when we all take that very seriously. Mm-hmm. They know us, and what we hear from them constantly is we'd like to hear from other people, parents, et cetera. So I would encourage anybody who has thoughts, especially around funding, to reach out to our local delegation. They do want to hear from you, and they do listen. And then the last thing is, it's school starting soon, which feels like summer just started, but register your kids. It really helps with numbers and getting how many teachers we need and all that other stuff. So please it just takes a few minutes, especially if you're re-registering. A lot of stuff is already pre-filled for you. So please take a few minutes and make sure your kids are registered. It helps us on day one. That's all I've got.
Thank you, Mr. Newberry. Ms. Lesman?
Yes, Congratulations, Mr. Foy. You're going to be a great asset to James Clemens, and we're excited for you. I wanted to thank the Schools Foundation and Committee of 100 and Leidos for their support. You know, it's our community that helps our schools to stay great. And Miss Devine, Lisa Devine, I believe that was her name with Leidos, she was stating how they like to support our schools because, I mean, ultimately that's our workforce coming back to us, hopefully. So we invest in our students, as evidenced with Robin coming and speaking on her nursing, which, you know, that's great to hear somebody come back and, you know, what happened to you? And, oh, you know, thanks, guys. You really helped me. And so that's just very encouraging to hear. And, you know, I know there's a big shortage of nurses here in the North Alabama area. So in case she wants to come back, you know, that's great. And then, you know, thank you to our public speakers that came up and told us your concerns and your thoughts. And, you know, like Mr. Newberry said, our job is advocacy. And I made my, we're actually going, a few of us, to Washington in September with COSPA. It's the Consortium of State School Board Associations. And that's over 25 state school boards that go up to Washington, and we all advocate and we separate out, and it's all organized, but we go and we're stronger as one voice like that. And so, you know, with these, we stay on top of that, and we do want to hear from our parents as well, because there's always something that we may not have considered. But what I was saying with that, we will be going in September, and we had a finance meeting just prior to this where Ms. Williams and Ms. Gray, they are actually looking and being proactive in case of what happens. You know, nothing's really been settled right now, but I cannot say enough great things about the Madison City School staff and team, because they're always thinking ahead and thinking about our students. So I just wanted to thank you guys, and thank you, Dr. Joffer at Policy Committee, which Mr. Newberry, I thanked them last time for you. So it's been quite a summer for you. So thank you. That's it.
Thank you, Ms. Lesman. You guys have excellent comments. I want to just ditto most of those comments. I'll tell you, as Mr. Newberry stated, we are part of our position is advocacy, and we are working on ways to strengthen our voice when it comes to communicating with our local leaders. Ms. Minks, Ms. Benjamin, thank you guys for coming and speaking to the board. I assure you that, you know, funding is a major conversation for our board as well. Congratulations, Mr. Foy. You know, this is one thing that we commonly see at Madison City Schools. When teachers get an opportunity or staff get opportunity for promotions, the school that they're leaving and the school that they're going to is here in support. And that just speaks volumes to the culture that's embedded in Madison City school systems, that you're happy for people. And I've heard that Mr. Brown had a great team with Mr. Foy and was part of his team. But that support to still come and say congratulations. That upcoming support, Ms. Miller, Ms. Fanninglin, Dr. Donaldson, Mr. Jarrett. I mean, you can't speak volumes to the culture that's here when they want to welcome people in. So congratulations, Mr. Foy. I know you're going to be part of a great team, and you guys are going to do great things. Our next scheduled meeting is July the 24th, 2025 at 5 p.m., preceded by an instruction committee meeting at 4 p.m. There's no further action, board, and there's no further items to discuss. Can we have a motion and second to adjourn the meeting?
So move.
Second.
We have a motion by Ms. Lesman and a second by Mr. Overcash. Any discussion, board? Okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Meeting is adjourned. Thank you, guys.